Hello fellow paranormalers, and welcome to this channel and this video. Here's a topic of discussion. Something that I find quite interesting about today's society and today's world. I personally have, worked with crystals, herbs, empathic remedies. I think they call them empathic remedies. Natural remedies, etc., etc., etc. And something that I noticed the other day about someone that will be currently used for our crystals and such like. They've just redesigned their website, and they've actually started putting this quite long disclaimer on their website, which I thought is a bit of a shame, really. But I guess in a way, in today's society, we kind of have to do this thing. So, but I just think it's a bit of a shame. In our society, we seem to have grown very wary of anything that isn't scientific. And by that I mean herbs. Herbs have been used by mankind, for thousands of years. Crystals, elements, there's a whole load of things. I could go on and on and on, but let's just stick with crystals and herbs, okay? And yet, the medical sciences and chemistry, etc., that, everyone has to take pills now in order to become well again for whatever reason. And I'm not disrespecting the medical profession by any means, or anything that they do, or the methods that they use. But I do think it's a real shame that herbal medicine and herbs themselves, and things like crystals and the properties of crystals, etc., get lumped into, that's down there somewhere, generally speaking, by the majority of society, is that it's not important, or it's not founded on, scientific research and such like, despite the fact that we as humans have been using these things for thousands of years. I mean, just think about that. So we've only been using chemical substances and medical practices for I don't know, maybe 300 years. I mean, before then, we didn't really have the technology that we've got now to perform surgery. We didn't have all the research and such like, and knowledge about, DNA and, there's like a lot. But saying that, now something that's relatively new compared to what we've been used to for thousands of years, seems to have pushed aside anything that isn't new, if that makes any sense. So now anything that hasn't come out of, the last 50 to 100 years in medicine has now been just pushed aside and discredited, and has to have disclaimers on it now, and I just think it's very strange. It's a shame. It's a real shame. Most of these diseases, I believe, personally, I think have come about, through through modernization, through industrialization, the chemicals, the imbalances, all of these things have come about by us as humans creating them, or they are the byproduct or result of what it is we're eating, what it is we're, the environment that we're working and living in, the air that we've polluted, the water that we've polluted, the food that we've contaminated, and the food chain that we're destroying. And then we have the gall to turn around and point the finger at herbology or, other alternative methods of healing as being non-scientific, and they have to have a disclaimer on them. I find it quite odd. I find it really, really strange. So it was quite interesting, I think, with the crystals, and this local supplier of crystals that we use, having to put this disclaimer on to say, that they don't endorse that crystals can actually do anything for you, health-wise or spiritually or psychically or however, and that everybody has to find their own, their own way with these things. And I just, it's very odd. It's very, very odd. It's a bit like the paranormal, because science can't explain the paranormal. It has to be classed as entertainment. And it's the same with tarot card reading or pendulum or Ouija board work, or if you get my drift on all of this stuff. So because this cannot be scientifically proven, like that's the real thing, which just basically means that it gives somebody the license to copyright it and then start charging money for it and becoming multi-millionaires out of it, because it can't be packaged up in a box and labelled and then, So the Ouija board was sold as a game. And it just makes me smile a bit. How this stuff has to be scientifically proven nowadays to be credit-worthy in today's society, which I just absolutely disagree with, obviously, and so do an awful lot of other people, thankfully. It's a shame. It's a real shame. What are your thoughts? I'd welcome your thoughts on this subject. I think it's quite interesting. Anyway, I'll leave you with that, and I shall see you again in another video.